Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Rice. We have The View. And look, they go back and forth, all right? They get in a little bit of a battle, okay? A little bit of a sparring match, all right? I'm going to be honest with you. Viewer discretion is advised. We are not wasting a second. We're getting right into it. Miss Rice, The View. Without further ado, let's rock.
Okay.
Well, let me be very clear. I said at the time, January 6th was wrong. I called it an assault on law and order and an assault on our democratic processes. So full stop, it was wrong. Law enforcement will determine what happened there, and those who violated the law ought to be punished. Now, I think what Senator McConnell may be referencing is, yes, it's time to move on in a lot of ways. I'm one who believes that the American people are now concerned about their what we call kitchen table issues, the price of gasoline, inflation. We ought to move on to the next generation, move ahead and deal with the American people's issues.
It's really politically expedient for Mitch McConnell to say, let's move on, let's move on. The problem is that past will become prologue if we don't find out.
Past will become prologue if we don't find out. This is how out of touch The View is. No, it's not past will become prologue. The American people, let me look into the camera. The American people aren't worrying about past will become prologue. The American people are worried about their past due bills. I'm going to say that again. The American people are not worried about past will become prologue, or however you say it. They're worried about their past due bills. Come on now. Come on now. Say I'm not speaking facts. Right? And it's not everybody. I know some people are good with their finances. And if you are, kudos to you. That's really good. But I'm just, I'm always going to keep it real on here. I'm never going to sugarcoat. Back to the video.
Exactly what happened January 6th.
And we will.
So it's not time now.
We will find out.
We must find out before moving on.
We will find out. But I'm going to tell you, I live in California, not Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And the American people do have other concerns that we ought to be thinking about and talking about.
Respectfully,
and
Madam Secretary, I think...
let me finish now, Sunny. I also know that as a government and as a country, we've got to be concerned about the things that are making life hard for Americans and hard for American families. First of all, parents ought to be involved in their children's education. Their children are in school 7 hours. That's a very formative period. And I think parents ought to have a say. We used to have parent-teacher conferences. We used to have PTAs. There are lots of ways for parents to be involved, and they should be. My parents never thought I was going to grow up in a world without prejudice, but they also told me that's somebody else's problem, not yours. You're going to overcome it, and you are going to be anything you want to be. And that's the message that I think we ought to be sending to kids. One of the worries that I have about the way that we're talking about race is that it either seems so big that somehow white people now have to feel guilty for everything that happened in the past. I don't think that's very productive. Or black people have to feel disempowered by race. I would like black kids to be completely empowered, to know that they are beautiful in their blackness. But in order to do that, I don't have to make white kids feel bad for being white. It goes back to how we teach the history.
That's what I'm saying.
We teach the good and we teach the bad of history.
Yep,
but what we don't do is make 7- and 10-year-olds feel that they are somehow bad people because of the color of their skin. We've been through that.
Yeah.
Yes. And we don't need to do that again.
You could tell let me go back real quick. Let me go back. She did not want to hear that. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, nah. I'm not over here worrying about what the American people are worrying about, which, like I said, is, the border, gas prices, grocery, all that stuff that you heard 1,000 times, right? And I get it, right? Because, when have they had to worry about that? That's probably been a long time. And kudos to them. You could talk all the smack you want about The View, but they are successful women, so kudos to them for that. But when you're running a show like this, you should have some sort of, it's good to have some empathy for people, man. It's good to have some empathy. I pay all my bills. I'm good on money. You know what I mean? I'm good with my money. But even I have empathy for the American people because I know a lot of people aren't in this situation and position that I am in, right? Come on now. Back to the video.
Through that?
Yeah.
Yes. And we don't need to do that again.
There are people who will say it feels worse now when we're talking about race, or it just feels like a divisive environment.
It sure doesn't feel worse than when I grew up in Jim Crow, Alabama. Okay, so let's drop this notion that we're worse at race relations today than we were in the past. Really? That means we've made no progress. Really?
Ooh, that's something that I hear a lot. I hear that a lot. Oh, it's worse. It's worse. It's so much. Look, as somebody that is a person of color, I'm telling you, that is not the case. It's not sweet. It's not sweet out here. Absolutely, it's not. But it is nothing like our forefathers had to deal with. Let's get with the program. Let's get with the program, right? But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Let me know what you guys think about, what Ms. Rice's take versus The View. Obviously, I'm siding with Ms. Rice versus The View. I'm definitely not siding with The View for this one, and maybe one day I will in the future, somewhere in the distant, long future, but not today. So, because she made a lot of good points, and I think she's tapped into how the American people feel based on what she said. And I really don't know her that well. I could tell you that right up front. But based on what she said, I could tell she knows her stuff. So, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you slap the like button 5 times and kick the subscribe button for me. Until next time, peace.